First Bubba gets up. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Thanks for joining us tonight on Bait Shop Talk. We got a very special guest with us. I want to go ahead and announce it today. We got Alex from 904 Fishing. Go ahead and say hi to the people, Alex. Let them know what your channel's about and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm 904 Fishing. I just fish. I do all kinds of stuff around Jacksonville, bass fishing, saltwater fishing, a lot of shore fishing recently, and I'm hoping to get into kayak fishing.
Nice. He's just got to get it there.
Yeah.
It's with me always. We got Bubba with Bubba Outdoors.
What's up, y'all?
Yep. And then we got our good friend Timmy is always with us. Timmy from Tim Kidwell Outdoors.
What's going on, everybody?
Timmy is sometimes with us.
Timmy, the outboard namesake.
Yeah.
Guys, I just want to go ahead and I want to apologize to everyone. I know we did not have a Bait Shop Talk live last month due to pretty much all of us were gone. I was off doing military duties, and it's kind of hard to get Wi-Fi in a tent out in the woods. Timmy was on a family vacation. He was out of town, and, you know, family comes first before YouTube. And then, or else y'all have just been left with having a conversation with Bubba. So I apologize for that.
That would have been the best episode ever.
We got the highest ratings. Nothing wrong with having a conversation with Bubba. I do it every time I go fishing, and I think everyone, I'm sure Bubba thanks you too, for all the concerns of when we went out to Robin and poor Bubba didn't even catch a fish, and I think he lost his chatterbait.
Yeah, I slung a chatterbait off. Yes, thank you for the concern. I was just happy the boat worked. That was the good, and that was it.
And also, congratulations to Timmy for hitting 500 subscribers. Timmy, I know that was a goal you were trying to get for a long time, and I'm sure the giveaway went well.
Yes, it did, actually. I actually just posted that video today. So it is closed. No more. But then keep subscribing, though. I mean, don't stop that. That's fine.
Definitely right. Definitely right. The next goal is to hit that magical 1,000 mark. And speaking of 1,000, I myself am over 2,000 now. I am at 2,123. So It's time for me to do a giveaway, and it's the lure packs and, you know, fish grips and fish scales and stuff like I've done in the past. Since you guys are joining us live, you're going to be the first ones to know before I actually do the giveaway video. I'm going to be giving away a Vexen rod. I'm going to be getting a 7-foot medium heavy casting rod from Vexen, and we're going to give that bad boy away. It's not going to be the strike back. It's going to be the actual custom. Yeah, not that one. And it's going to be the actual custom made Vexen rod.
Wow.
So
every time the story behind that is every time Joe says strike back, I go.
Yeah, he makes the whip sound.
Which
the strike back did good. They got that 2-pounder on the Whopper Plopper. First bass on the Whopper Plopper. Yeah, see, get out of the house and go fishing. You could use that Vexen to catch some more topwater redfish.
What's up? Get out of the house, go fish.
Hey, he's been killing it out there in Fort George Inlet, man. He got his PB red and a PB trout all the same day on topwater.
Wow. All right. Yeah. I need to get out there, obviously. I need to figure out how to get my kayak out there.
Yeah, the rest of us are fishing on the bottom with shrimp like idiots. So, how about we kick this thing off? Let's get going, and we'll go with the fishing reports. Since we're talking about saltwater, saltwater report for me, very limited saltwater for me, other than I finally went out and did some surf fishing out at Nassau Sound. I've been watching everybody tearing the whiting up and hearing the reports have been good. So I went out for an afternoon trip and fished till dark, and I ended up getting 2 stingrays, a sail cat, sea trout, and 1 small shark. And I had some other, you know, smaller bites. I'm sure those were probably the whiting, but they weren't big enough to eat my circle hook that I had on. And then also, for a lot of y'all know, snapper season opened up. We'll touch on that more here later. My dad went out. They were about 14 miles. He was able to get out while I was at work, and he wasn't on the wreck probably 5 minutes in there. He had, you know, the size snapper that they wanted and took home. So they're definitely out there thick. Everybody's killing them right now. And if you didn't get a chance to make it this weekend, don't fret. They'll be open next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And, of course, I'll have military duty, so I will not be able to get out there and do any of that. So sadly, I'll be stuck doing inshore. But I have a tournament coming up anyway, so that's what I'll be getting on. Larger bodies of freshwater. With this hot water, the river has definitely slowed down for bass. If you're going to be fishing the St. Johns, definitely find either grass, docks with a lot of shade, or if you got good electronics, try to get out there and find their shell bars. Right now, they're anywhere from like 6 to 11 feet is where they're finding the good shell bars. And usually when you pull up on a shell bar in the St. Johns, either the bass are on there or they're not. And depending on the tide, where they're going to be positioned on it, or if they're going to be active and feeding on it. If there's no water moving, they're more likely not going to be feeding. My next tournament is out there on Kingsley Lake, Camp Landing, where the 3 biggest bass caught this year have been on Camp Landing. They so far have gotten 3 13-pounders out of that lake this year.
Woo!
Yeah,
wow,
so
nice.
I'm really hoping I can hook into one of those. But with Camp Landing or Kingsley Lake, if you ever get a chance to fish it, you're either going to catch a 1-pounder or a new PB. That's just it's weird. I've never caught any 2s, 3s, or 4s. They've always been either 8+ or a 1-pounder. And yes, I did catch an 8+, even though she jumped off. I did have her on there. So that's the next big lake. That's the big lake I've been focusing on. I'll be focusing on that till the end of the month when I fish my tournament. So you guys wish me luck in that. And then after that, it's back to Rodman.
Yeah. If you guys didn't see that too, what Joe's talking about there with Rodman, he did lose like I don't know. It was 5-6+. I mean, it jumped early. Could have been a 7, and that's that's big for this time of year, especially. Everything's hot and skinny right now.
Except for me, I'm just hot.
Yeah, I mean the river's definitely been tough bass fishing. It seems real hit or miss. If you catch a cold front, rain cools it off a little bit. It's not bad. But other than that, man, I went out today and it was 90-degree water temp at 10 o'clock whenever I got off the water. It was about what you would expect from, bluebird skies, 90-degree water temp, no wind, no tide. I caught a couple dinks, mudfish, warmouth. That was it. A couple weeks ago, though, I went out there and tore it up. And went to the same spot that me and Tim went to the last time that we had like a 20-pound bag between the two of us. Saltwater inshore is definitely good. I know Joe was talking about offshore a little bit. Saltwater inshore, you can get a lot of slot reds now up here. And I'm starting to hear reports of bull reds pushing in closer offshore. So I would not be surprised if this next full moon here at the end of the month doesn't push some bigger reds in. I haven't heard a whole lot of good shrimp reports. Usually this time of year we start seeing shrimp and crazy numbers in the river. Haven't heard a whole lot of that yet. But trout bites good, flounders. I was talking to a guy that was gigging flounder, and he said it's good whenever it's not murky water because of all the rain. Now that I imagine now that the rain's dried up a little bit, it's probably back good again, gig and flounder. But flounder bite's been pretty good too. But Clapboard Creek I heard was going off here recently, so I imagine like Sisters Creek and all that stuff ICW is too.
Yeah.
How about you? You got anything to report?
Honestly, with it being super hot, not really. I went out fishing a couple times this past week. Haven't really caught much at all. Yesterday I caught 2 little ones, so I'm not going to make a video out of that. I did, however, I added a video when I was fishing with my new Rapala ripstop, and I actually missed 8 fish that day. I counted, and they were nice size. They had the bait in their mouth when I went to set the hook. They just opened their mouths, and you just see it just leaving their mouths. But I'm glad I went out there because I was in my kayak. I'm about 9 feet deep, and the grass comes up to about 4 feet, and I can see it on my Garmin. And that Rapala ripstop goes down about 4 feet, so just above the grass, and they just come up, eat it, and I actually end up with a decent-sized fish. But other than that, pond fishing and kayak fishing, not so great right now.
Well, appreciate the report. Yeah, they're probably burying themselves deep in that grass once the sun gets up. Guys, if you're not a subscriber for 904 Fishing, Alex's channel, he has been killing it out there in the surf, and that's what prompted me to go out there. I haven't been surf fishing in years, and after watching his video, I'm like, man, the surf is on fire. So I had to get out there. So Alex, tell the folks what you got to report and what you've been doing.
Yeah, I mean, for freshwater, like everyone's been saying, it's just hot. So I decided to go shore fishing, and I've been going. Typically, I go to Jack's Beach, just south of the pier a little bit, and I try to get off the beaten path so I don't get in people's way, and they don't get in my way. And then Mickler's Beach is another favorite spot of mine, but I've been just throwing out salted shrimp on little 1/0 and 2/0 hooks. I typically get whiting, croaker, spot. I've gotten a ladyfish and a small stingray on that. And then after I get that, I throw it on a shark rod. I've gotten a couple pretty nice sized sharks, 3.5, 4.5, just shy of 5. So the surf fishing has been on fire. If you guys want to get out there, I would highly suggest it this time of year.
Nice. Now, are you looking for, when you're going down the beach trying to find a spot, are you looking for anything in particular, or just where there's not that so many tourists out there?
It depends on where I am and what the tide is. I use tidesforfishing.com so I can check what where the low tide and the high tide is for the beaches, because it tells you which beach is what tide. So that's super helpful, and I use that all the time. But it's definitely helpful knowing when the low tide is going to be. I typically like to fish the high tide going into the low tide, which kind of sucks because you have to pick up and move your rods every so often. But I tried to look for sandbars, and I tried to get on the edge of a sandbar because it's usually paths of water you can see when the tide is going down, which is why I fish the outgoing tide. And you can you fish right off the edge of that sandbar, and you usually cast right out in between the two sandbars with your right rods, and then your left rods you just cast straight out, which is typically my shark rods. But for bait fish, I try to cast in between the two sandbars further out into the ocean, and I typically find I have good luck with bait fish that time.
Nice. And if you guys haven't seen it recently, the latest video that Alex put up, he caught himself a nice 4 foot, like maybe a little over 4 foot black nose shark on a spinning rod, and it was definitely, it sounded like he was at the gym, man. You were huffing and puffing with him.
It was I haven't caught a big shark like that in a long time, because I haven't been doing shore fishing. This year has really been the year I've really gotten back into it. And I was a little worried that he might steal a lot of my line, and he did, and he was not wanting to give it up. But we finally got him in, and it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah. Speaking of shark fishing rods, you definitely gotta up your game there.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
We gotta get this bad boy out. Yeah, guys, this is my shark rig I have. This is a Penn Senator 9/0. It has a 150-pound braid with a 100-pound shock mono. And then I have a broomstick pretty much of a rod, and it's all roller guides. So we're definitely, I want to get this bent on about an 8-foot bull shark. That is like the goal for the summer.
Or you need my 7-1 medium heavy action rod with my school 7.3-1 won't work.
If you catch something on that, man, FX Rods needs to give you like a heck of a bonus and just like give you like 20 free rods if you pull in an 8-foot bull shark with a medium heavy.
Hey, I mean that the black nose I caught, which was 45 inches. I caught that on 20-pound line and 9-foot surf rod and a 5,000 size reel. So you don't need to catch sharks. If you want big sharks, yeah, you definitely need those 9/0. But if you want to just get out there.
Oh yeah. I mean, I had, and I never knew they were this big either. I went to Simpsons Creek one time, and I had some live mullet out, hoping to catch a tarpon because tarpon come through there. Mm-hmm. And I had my bottom mullet go off and went screaming, and then the line got cut. So I thought it was a bluefish, because I caught a bluefish prior to that, and we all know how toothy bluefish are. And then when I was tying on a new hook, my 4,000 series spinning rod went off, and I went to tighten down the drag. It was a 5-foot black tip, and how I know that is because he came out of the water twice, corkscrewing in the air. And of course, you don't have the camera on because you're sitting there tying on a fishing hook, thinking nothing's going like that's going to happen. And I had no idea sharks that big were in Simpsons Creek. So that's a little lesson of don't hang your feet off the kayak in salt water. No matter if you think you're safe or not. What's that, Timmy?
Do they have like any like shark fishing tournaments? Like you can do that?
Well, Blacktip H used to have the Blacktip Challenge, which was the whole East Coast from Florida, like from Fernandina Beach all the way down to like the Keys. And it was like big money. And they had different categories, like, of course, biggest blacktip, biggest shark caught on spinning tackle, biggest non-shark species, most sharks, biggest shark. They had different categories, and you'd win like those international, like the big gold pins and things. Like, I mean, like thousands of dollars. It was really serious, but I haven't heard anything more of it. And they used to go all up and down the coast and record it. If you go to YouTube and type in Black Tip Challenge, you'll see videos of it. And it's only guys fishing from the beach, no boats.
Wow.
Robert Harris joined us. We got Robert Martin, and Rusty's like, I'm late, but I'm here. We thank every single one of you joining us, even if you're late. We're just glad to have you join us tonight. Hope you guys are beating the heat and got yourself a nice, cool beverage. Robert Harris is asking thoughts on flounder gigging. Bubba, you was just talking about that a minute ago. I also got some friends that have been going out flounder gigging. Flounder gigging here in Northeast Florida, we finally got a little slack in the rain. But before that, with it raining every day, it was hard to find clear enough water to do any serious flounder gigging. If you're looking for some spots to go, a lot of the popular spots are Fort George Inlet at night because of all the sandbars, and you can go on either side of the inlet of the bridge. I've had luck on both sides. And also Nassau Sound. If you park on the south end of the river of Nassau Sound where the boat ramp is, you can go down underneath the bridge and you can walk that whole stretch all the way up to where the point is, and that's where a lot of people flounder gig if you're on foot. If you're on a boat, you can go around the Danes Point Bridge. It's good. Back around Mill Cove. There's reports of people gigging flounder in there. Sawpit Creek. Yes, that's where I'm talking about. Like the boat ramp where you go to Sawpit Creek, you can go to the beach side of that. Like if you go walk, like you're walking to the bridge to go fish on the bridge, you'll see a little footpath underneath the bridge where people walk down there to go either fish at the beach or go flounder gigging. Robert. And Robert's only got me lost my train of thought here. I was talking about different places to go. Oh, if you had a boat. Pretty much if you can find clear water right now, I don't know about gigging wise, but Hallsover Creek, they're actually catching them in kayaks pretty good right now from what I've been hearing.
I used to talk about doing it on foot. I used to do it, if you guys remember where the old Alamacani was, I used to do it on foot over there a lot.
Alamacani is Fort George Inlet.
Yeah, but like that whole like bank side of it, I'd go in there and start walking down that bank side where the Alamacani was over there at Fort George. And
right,
then
especially at low tide, you can get back in that creek.
Yep. And then, if it's low enough too, you can get out to like the sandbars out there.
Yeah. Get out of the house and go fishing. If you're fishing for snook up here in Jacksonville and you catch one, take a whole lot of pictures, man, because it is rare up here because we're so far north and it gets so cold during the winter. It's rare to catch a snook up here. But from what I've seen, they're not catching them so much. In the cold, like right in the inlet areas, like closer to the ocean, they're catching them more inland, like back in the tidal creeks. It seems where they're getting more snook action at.
Up until this past winter, you heard, more and more. It seemed like every year, like it was getting more and more common, and then this past winter just knocked us back like 10 years on it.
Right. Let's see here. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, boat update. I know you guys know. You've been seeing I've been struggling with boat issues and mechanic problems. Do yourself a favor. Please learn from my mistake. If you have outboard problems that's beyond your scope of maintenance, don't go to the, hey, I got a friend that fixes outboards. Please take your boat to the dealer the first time. I know you get sticker shocked when you hear how much it costs, but it's worth it in the long run. They got barrier warranties, and they usually stand behind their work better. That's what happened to me. My father recommended a guy who was a mobile mechanic. I had my outboard blow up. He did a power head swap on it. Long story short, he did a crappy job. I ended up having to pay double because it went out again. I had it this time. I took it to the actual Merc dealership. We got the boat back, and now she's running better than it ever has. I'm in the break-in process right now with it. So hopefully it'll be broke in time for my tournament, which my next big tournament, like I was saying, was on Kingsley at the end of the month. It's going to be a nighttime tournament, and it's going to be 12 hours. So it's almost like an endurance tournament. It's going to be going from 7 p.m. till 7 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, that's a long time. So we're going to have a lot of people out there on that out there at nighttime on that lake. So definitely make sure my lights are working too. And how we do our nighttime tournaments, we don't leave our bass in the live well and weigh in like we do normally when it's the cooler part of the seasons and we do a daytime tournament. There's a ruler called a golden rule, and it has all the inches. And the way it works is it says 14 inches, then this bass weighs 1 pound 7 ounces. 15 inches, the bass weighs 1 pound 10 ounces, and so on. So what you do is you put the bass on the scale, find how big he is. All right, the bass is 18 inches, 2 pound 1 ounce. Your partner looks at it to make sure you're not cheating. You ask them, if, they say, do you agree with this? And they agree. And then you sign a little clipboard and write down how much weight of the fish that you have. And then they add it all up, and that's how they found out who the winner is for our nighttime tournaments. That we're not keeping bass in hot water in a little live well for 12 hours all night. So
yeah, that'd probably be a little bit much.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm glad we're looking out for conservation on that. And last year they didn't do it, but this year we're doing it again. FWC is going to be out there with our club, and they're having us help them with research. When we catch a large bass, 8 pounds or bigger, they want us to get a DNA sample and put it in a little vial and give it to them, and they're tracking the DNA and the growth of the bass in Kingsley to see what's making them grow so big, pretty much. Like seeing how they can take that and put it to use in other lakes. And, of course, see how old they are. I think if you can get a scale, that helps them out too. That because you can track them kind of like a tree. You look at the scale and you'll see the growth rings in it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so pretty neat stuff. Like I didn't know a lot of this stuff until I, reached out and joined a bass club and started fishing these tournaments. You learn a lot from these guys that's been doing it since like the 70s. The bass club I'm currently with, the St. John's Bass Anglers. If you ever heard of Peter Televeros, he's a professional bass angler. He fished with the Bassmasters, and now he's with FLW. He started in that club, so it was grassroots back then, which is kind of is if you start at college nowadays. That's kind of like the new way of getting into the Bassmasters.
So are we going to see you on the FLW tour? Is that what you're saying?
You might see me on the Costa Series when I'm retired.
I'll tell you what, man. I was watching the past 3 days of the FLW Forest Book Cup coverage, and coming home after having such a rough day and bad weather and everything today, to see those guys struggling just like me this time of year, it makes you feel a little bit better. But talking about boat stuff, man, Joe's passed on his bad luck to me, dude. He's been fighting his so long. Luckily now, knock on wood, my motor is still running fine, strong, no issues there. But I had a little trailer issue. One of the runners on my trailer, the bracket holding it up rusted out, kicked it off at like a 45-degree angle. I got it fixed up the week after, and then the week after that, I noticed a couple inches of water in the bottom of the boat while I was out there trolling around, and got to looking around trying to figure out where it's coming from. Popped a rivet whenever that that runner kicked off, and so that fixed that up, and then got it up underneath it to patch it up from both sides, and found a few more loose rivets. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? I'm going to have to re-rivet the whole bottom of the boat, drill them out, and do it all. But got it all patched up and everything. But my safety tip for the week for you guys: I always keep a little tube of JB Weld Marine on the boat, and that stuff is almost like plumber's putty, where it's like 2-part putty that you can mix it together, and it'll set in water, and it'll set. Almost immediately. Working time on it's like 5-10 minutes, and then it takes a few hours to cure. But that'll get you out of a pinch whenever you're got a couple inches of water in the bottom of the boat like I did. So, of course, I came back and knocked that off and cleaned it all up and fixed it right later on. But that allowed me to keep fishing that day. So that's probably not a bad idea to keep that on the boat, would you?
Yeah, definitely. It never hurts to have a backup, just like duct tape, or you can get you some Flex Seal. That'll work.
Yeah, get some Flex Seal.
Tyler Bean was commenting. I guess he knows I got a Mercury. You can definitely tell who watches my videos. He said, buy a Yamaha. Tyler, I've been down the Yamaha road, and I had a way worse experience with the Yamaha.
I'll tell you what. Now, talk about Yamahas and dealers. Okay, I bought a Yamaha. Whenever I bought it, it had 12 hours on it. By 200 hours, I had to have both carburetors, rebuilt and cleaned and everything. Well, it was actually before 200 hours. I think it was like 130. But both my carburetors were gummed up from the automatic oil injection on them. Just completely just funky. I mean, and that was running the boat every 3 days at the time. I had a job, luckily, where I worked about 6 hours a day, four days a week. So I'd run the boat all the time.
I think when it comes to outboards, it's kind of like saying, what's your favorite Ford, Chevy, or Dodge? I mean, everybody has their own brand they stick behind. So you're never going to be right, no matter what brand you say.
I think so.
Slim One Done, he joined in with us. Hey, thanks for coming in there, Slim. He was saying snook aren't rare. Catch them in the ditch all the time. He said Matanzas Inlet's also good for snook. Matanzas Inlet is a bit of a drive for me. If I'm driving that far, it's because I'm fishing a tournament usually. And he said, he's saying Red Bay Marine. He recommends them. He says they're really good. I ended up taking my boat because up here where I live, I went to Chelsea Marine over there, Yulee/Fernandina area, and they did a really great job. Their mechanic there really knows what he's doing for sure. Way better than the first one I had. All right, Timmy's back from having difficult internet difficulties.
Hey,
so,
yeah, it was probably a stupid storm messing with my internet. I don't know if you guys got hit by it or not, but we got hit hard and turned off the electric and everything else. So
I don't see it out here yet. But question for the audience, question for everyone watching, and of course, question for you guys that are here with me today. Is it good to stick to one type of fishing, or should for your YouTube channel, stick with what you're good at, kind of deal, or is it better to break it up and kind of go every direction, like do a little bit of this, a little bit of that?
It depends what you have time for.
Well, Alex, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, my thoughts on that is like, take this year, for example. This is a perfect example. With the cold snap that we had at the beginning of the year, and then it got a little warm in February. We got up into the 80s, and then it went right back down to the 30s and 40s. That really threw off the bass, because that month of warmth that we had really threw off their spawning period. So I knew because of that the bass fishing was going to be a little wonky this year. So despite the fact that I have been adamantly bass fishing, almost exclusively for the past 5 years, I decided to bust out all my saltwater stuff and get more saltwater stuff now. And you just kind of got to roll with the flow of what's happening in nature and what's working, basically.
Yeah, definitely. I'm like that too. I'm kind of seasonal. What got me started on YouTube though is I had that Pescador 120. And that was 2016 after I just got back from a deployment. And I was hitting the saltwater hard, man. Like all 2016, that's pretty much all I was doing. And I was killing it. My freezer was so full of sea trout and redfish. I was just putting fish back. I was pretty much just going out for the fun of it and trying to do new things. And then the past couple of years, man, saltwater is just... it has died off for me. I don't know what is going on. I am cursed. I haven't caught a slot red all year. Barely got some sea trout, and I've lost some really nice flounder. Probably in around the 19 to 20 inch range flounder. And they come up enough where you can see them at the boat, and by the time you grab the net, they shake off. That's where I'm at on saltwater. Meanwhile, freshwater fishing, I've been killing it. Been getting pretty good bags in tournaments, good footage. Got my PB back in December on a jig, no less. I was throwing a bait I was trying to get confidence in, and what better way to get confidence in it than catching your PB on it? But saltwater, like I said, for those guys that keep saying, I seen all the saltwater stuff coming up. Yeah, sheeps is coming up. Slim, me and Timmy tried to go out and catch sheeps. I hooked one big sheephead, and of course he pulled off. That was the only bite I had. But we did get Timmy on some.
Saved our butts that day.
Right, but we did get Timmy on some sea trout and some and a jack and some other stuff. But definitely we'll get back into the salt. I do for those.
It's all you, Alex. I think.
What's that?
Oh yeah, we did see you that day, Alex, because you're like, hey, I knew I saw some people fishing a kayak on the bridge.
Yep. Out at Fort George Inlet. Yeah. I was looking over and I'm like, man, he looks. I feel like I've seen that kayak. That looks really familiar.
Yeah. What was I going to say? But yeah, for those who are craving some saltwater videos, any day now, I got it pulled up. I'm just in the editing right now. That surf fishing trip I took, that's going to be coming up next. So you'll be seeing that. And then definitely going to get the kayak back in. I'm going to try to do some flounder fishing. I don't know why, but flounder fishing always seems to be a real popular video. So be looking for the flounder fishing video coming up.
It's because they taste so good.
They are. They're delicious. Thing about flounder is the Florida limit for flounder is 12 inches. To me, a 12-inch flounder is like when by the time you get the meat off of it, it's like a newspaper. You can see right through it. So I have my own size limit, that like my personal size limit with flounder in Florida. For me, they got to be 15 inches or bigger for me to get them. Yeah, Slim, that's where I'm probably going to be going. Is Hall's over. I heard been doing good over there. But definitely I like to keep about a 15-inch or bigger flounder because there's a lot more meat, and, you know, it's worth the trouble of cleaning him at that point. You know, so throw the little 12-inch ones back, let them grow up a couple more inches. They'll be freaking grown 4 inches within 1 year. But I definitely like variety. Someone a long time ago told me, like, don't do YouTube to satisfy the masses. Just do what you love to do and just bring everyone along with you.
Yep.
That's the way I try to look at it.
I wouldn't have met you guys. So, I mean, it definitely builds relationships, builds friendships, and get you out on the water, you know? Get you out of the house.
Get you out of the house and go fishing? What'd you say? There's your shout out, man.
There's your plug.
There's your plug.
Yeah, I've always had that, you know, similar mindset of trying to not just do what everybody else is doing. You know, I take some inspiration from it, but I try to put my own personal twist on it.
Yeah. You're like Alex. When I watch you, I feel like I'm going to school because you're kind of like their professor when you talk. I don't know why.
I don't know. I have a lot of people ask me a lot of questions, and I get a lot of messages on my 904 Fishing Facebook page about what I'm doing, what gear I'm using, the size hooks I'm doing, what rod am I using, what reel am I using, you know, what's my drag set at, what's my bait. I get all kinds of questions, so I try to just include that in the actual video, and I feel like a lot of people watch me because of that. So I don't know. I try to include that.
Yeah, that's why we have bait shop talk, so people can come over here in the chat and they can ask us any kind of questions about any of our videos that they want, and we can answer it to them live right here as they come up. And I'm sure the number one question you get, Alex, is where's the hidden lake? Oh
yeah. Oh, I get at least an email, probably a week, about where the hidden lake is, and yeah, it's called the hidden lake for a reason, right?
Right. I mean, it's called Google, people. I'm sure you can find it.
Oh, people have. I know. I've met subscribers out there. They're like, "Hey, wait, you know, I know you, but if you really want to put in the effort, you'll find it." And that's you know why I try not to tell people is if they put in the effort and they find it, then you know they deserve to fish there. That's how I view it.
Slim just now recognized you. He said, "Oh, that's the 904 fishing dude."
I got mad at the kingfish trip. I did not do a kingfish trip. Question mark.
Maybe you put one up and you didn't know it.
I was about to say, I don't know. I went out on a boat, but I didn't catch any kingfish.
Did you label it? Did you title it Kingfish? Did you put a little clickbait out there, Alex?
No, my older brother keeps me in check with that. He's like, you know, if I ever see you putting up a video, because he's the one that got me into fishing. He said, if I ever see you clickbaiting, I'm gonna shut you down hard. And I was like, all right, fair enough. Fair enough.
I was like, oh, maybe someone else.
Yeah, somebody else likes to clickbait every once in a while. Hey, thanks for the sub, Weekend.
Yeah, let's everybody show Bubba some love, because like we just got done talking about Tim hit 500 subscribers and I hit 2,000, and Bubba's rocking a cool 63.
Oh, I'm like 70 something now, man. Look out. No, you know, talking about like videos and stuff, and kind of I'm on the, you know, everybody knows me. Like I'm on the preference of I just go fish and just happen to have a camera with me. Like I definitely don't fish in order to YouTube. Like I'll upload if I get something worth uploading, but it's never my, like I go fishing probably 5 times, 6 times for every video that I upload.
Yeah. Poor old Bubba. I think he got a lot of sympathy subscriptions when he didn't catch anything at Rodman.
He is not going to let this go, and now I'm not going to let him. I'm not going to let him get away with doing all this, because every other time that we go fishing together, I put it on him on the back of his own boat.
Yeah, when you catch an 11-pounder in my boat out of the back during the cold front, yeah, I got to have something to hang on to.
Didn't he catch a fish like on accident trolling in the back of your boat too?
Yes,
yeah.
It did. Yeah,
that was the second time Timmy blew up and said, "I'm done."
Yep. So that's Joe was due for one on me there. He's gonna run it until the next time we go fishing, though.
Yeah, you also jinxed me that day. You're like, I mean, I don't mean to say anything, but this is the best this outboard's ever ran. And about 2 minutes later, grrr, just died in the middle of the St. Johns River.
Yep. Hey, they're flooding in now. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the subs.
If you ever seen a man if you ever want to see a man get assaulted by a manatee, Bubba's your channel. And every time we go somewhere as a group or just the two of us and we take the kayaks out, even though me and Tim got the brand new fancy kayaks with all the fish finders and attachments, the first kayak everybody compliments on is Bubba with the horns out there on the front looking like Boss Hog of the kayak world.
Got to make it your own, man. Got to make it your own.
My favorite comment that we got there was, "Are you guys gonna go fishing?" Like,
you have 4 fishing rods sticking out, fish finders, and tackle boxes. Nah, we just gonna go tubing, man.
Yeah. It's but yeah, I mean, on that, same kind of thing with the kayak. It's
when you've been smoking pot since 2 a.m. in the morning, people are going to ask some weird questions.
There's a lot of that out there.
You got so mad. You were so mad that trip because everybody was acting a fool.
Yeah, man, I'm a grouchy old man. I'm freaking military dude. I hate hippies.
He calls them hippies. They're just college kids out on spring break.
If you had, look, in 2018, if you have a man bun, you wear sandals, you smoke pot, and you got a beard, but that's only because you don't know how to shave, you are a 2018 hippie. I got news for you.
Timmy, when you get to be our age, you get to call college kids hippies.
That's right.
That's right. So what age is it to where you start going like, you know what? I just don't want to do anything anymore.
I don't know.
There's such a thing.
Yeah, I haven't got there yet.
I mean, yeah, I can say my dad's 72 years old, and you can't slow him down. He's either doing a project like working on generators, or he's out fishing even without me.
Yeah, I think that's a person to person thing. I don't think I'll ever get there either.
Yeah. So Timmy, I think you're the only one really that's kind of stuck to your guns on your YouTube video. You're pretty much small waters and taking trips, but they're all, except for maybe about a handful, all bass fishing.
Yeah, unfortunately. Like we actually just got done moving and starting here really soon. I really would like to do a lot more saltwater fishing. I want to do a red fish trip. I want to do another sea trout trip, and then something else going down the pipes, maybe a shark fishing trip. Who knows? Yeah,
we're definitely going to do the shark fishing expedition. I want to do that so bad, especially before you have to leave us. That way you get to experience it. I would love to see Timmy get drugged down the beach by a 10-foot hammerhead.
Hey, that way I don't have to be like, hey, guys, can you wait for me? I got the shark pulling me.
Right. Going on the Florida sleigh ride. So why don't you show everybody what you got in your little mystery tackle box that you're so proud of, Bubba?
Oh, man, we do it every bait shop. I mean, I'll save the best for last. I'm sure you probably are going to see these things all over YouTube that month. So we'll
every 9 and 10-year-old who gets the mystery tackle boxes already posted this.
Yep. So we'll save that for last. One thing that I kind of want to use is pretty cool. A little swing head jig. I got a 3/8 ounce swing head jig. I thought that was cool. Some trailers for it. Little paddle tails on it. Looks like something nosing down bait fish. And then Joe, you'll like these trailers for it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, can I have those?
No. Those are pretty cool. A little Fire Tiger crank square bill is nice. And then, the one that you're going to see flooding YouTube this month, which is it's cool. I'm going to try it whenever I get on a topwater bite. What do they call him? Danny the Duck or something like that. It's a hollow body duck. It's pretty cool. It's got some stupid little legs on it that aren't going to do much. But
I guess you could walk it. That's about the only thing I can think of.
It's pretty much, you can walk it. It's and from the underside, I'm not sure how much, different it's going to be than anything else walking from the underside. It's cool. It's one of those things that they sell for the fishermen more than the fish, I think. To them, it's going to be a walking bait, but it's worth the money. That's about the price of the mystery tackle box in itself right there.
Yeah, I know it's a freshwater box, but as Tyler pointed out, the swing head jigs, they're really good for flounder, and also they're really good for sheep's head. A lot of people use those for sheep's head. They'll just take those, drop them right by the piling, but since they're loose, that, fiddler crab can kind of swing down there in the current versus, being locked on. It looks a little bit more natural.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of crossover in that too. Saltwater, freshwater stuff that I don't think gets used a whole lot that works really well. That, I accidentally luck into it a lot of time catching reds and trout on a lot of bass baits because I'll fish a lot of brackish water. And I've found that jigs and Texas rig craws, they get smoked by reds all the time. Because it's what's a crawfish looks like a fiddler crab, if you're running that kind of imitation in the same kind of water. And I did always want to find out, throwing a chatterbait for reds. Well, I saw some reds busting bait, and I was throwing a chatterbait for bass in brackish water, and lost a couple chatterbaits on some 12-pound leader getting smoked by reds on that. So yeah, reds will destroy a chatterbait. I want to get like a gold-bladed one for, just 4 reds.
That'd be cool. Put like a white paddle tail on the back of it. That'd probably work great. Tyler said hollow body frog for reds. I can see that.
Man, I've caught them on that. I've caught them on weightless lizards fishing top water for bass on a weightless lizard on a spinning rod. I'll do that a lot. And I've caught them on that. I've caught them on Cincos. I've caught them on all kinds of crap. Hollow body frogs I've been smoked by trout on them a lot too.
Yeah, I know they got a hollow body mullet, which is essentially the same thing that Live Target makes. I was looking at that the other day. I think that'd be a pretty cool idea. And they were talking about hollow body frogs. I got me a new little lure in. It didn't come in a mystery tackle box because I don't have that anymore. I just go out and buy whatever I'm like. And I got a Fire Tiger Live Target hollow body frog. And if anybody goes on Tackle Warehouse, for some reason they have Live Target hollow body frogs on clearance. So if you want to save some money and get yourself some hollow body frogs, check out Tackle Warehouse. And by the way, no, I am not sponsored by Tackle Warehouse, but if Tackle Warehouse comes across this video, give me a call. I'm willing to listen.
I'd like to jump in on that too. Just throwing that out there.
Dibs.
Yeah. Hey, if anybody wants to send me anything for free, y'all go right ahead.
Yeah, I guarantee you it will not be what's that rod that you done broke twice?
Yeah, if you want to send me anything but an Enigma Phenom or whichever one that is, don't send me one of those.
Oh, speaking of rod break, I don't know if you guys saw it before I had to take it off. I posted a video and I broke my rod setting the hook, and I got a call from FX and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna need you to take that down."
Oh, I didn't know you took it down, but I know what video you're talking about.
You know what video I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So what actually happened was I have 2 of those rods. The first one was that situation, but I put the reel on the wrong rod, and when I went to set the hook, snap, and they just weren't happy about it. So sorry about that, FX.
What's up, Big O? What's up,
Big
man?
O, we're definitely happy to have you here. Big O is a frequent subscriber. He's a long time subscriber of mine. He always comments in every video. He's so supportive, and Big O's also has some sweet videos. He's down there catching peacock bass in Miami and fishing, hitting the mangroves up. God, I wish we had mangroves here. That'd be so sweet. But he's a family man going to air shows. Big O, definitely a big shout out for you, man. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. And I know you just showed up. For everyone that's just now showing up, I had 2,000 subscribers. And since y'all going to get like a little sneak peek, you're watching it live, for the 2,000 subscriber giveaway, instead of tackle or things like that, I'm going to be giving away a 7-foot medium heavy Vexen casting rod. So look for that video. It's going to be the same thing, comment and like and share and everything to win. And I can't wait to see who's going to win that Vexen rod, because that's going to be sweet. And trust me, you're going to love it.
Talking about negative on videos though, Tim, I did a trapper tackle, got a trial of those from something, like a free trial, like 4 hooks, and a couple of them were defective, and they sent me like $75 worth of freaking hooks after that. They saw that. Yeah, they saw that, and I had like the eye snap off on them, and had that video. I was like, I like the concept, but I need to work on the quality a little bit. And one of them sent me a message like, "Hey, you want to be in our pro staff?" I was like, not really anybody's pro staff, but
He's just
yeah. But they sent me like $75 worth of hooks. Man, it took me like 8 months to use all of them, and I'm still got a couple of them hanging around. But those things are awesome for skip and Senkos. But I just thought that was really cool with their company that they were like, hey, yeah, we had a problem, we fixed it. Here, check this out.
Yeah, I think me and Tim have this conversation about how I feel about pro staff nowadays. I don't call myself pro staff. I call myself field staff because they give me equipment and stuff to try out in the field. I don't swell my head up about it, but I don't use equipment unless I believe in it myself. I don't just if someone like anybody could come up to me like, hey, you want to pitch our stuff on your channel, let me use it first and see how I feel about it before I'm going to tell other people that, hey, this is a good equipment or not. And I also like companies that listen. If there's a problem or a way you think you can improve on a product, I like companies that are like, oh yeah, thanks for telling us, man, that we'll take that on board. And sometimes you actually see those changes. And to me, that's what being field staff is about. You're the ears, of the company, pretty much you go back and tell them, hey, this is working or this isn't working. But I don't consider myself pro staff. I'm not an Elite Series member. I'm not FLW. I don't have my own fishing show on Outdoor Channel.
You're not a pro fisherman.
Right. I do not do this for a living. There we go. That's the best way to define it. Therefore, I define myself as field staff. But there's some people that take it and like, oh yeah, I'm pro staff. Me and Scott Martin are freaking tight. Like, no, I don't loop myself in that category.
Yeah. Well, like the pro though, it's not professional, it's promotional staff.
Well, when you hear pro, what's the first thing you think of?
Well, people say, of course, professional. But it does stand for, and I completely understand what you're saying too. You and I had this conversation when we were over at Mulligan's. But like being on a promotional staff, I mean, it is really considered a field staff. You're testing the baits and giving them feedback. And like you said, you need to get with companies that will actually take that feedback and run with it. Like Bucktail Johnny's, when they came out with the Whiplash, I've had some issues with it. I have some issues with a lot of their stuff, but they listen and they change it. You know what I mean? So if people that are watching this video and if you guys are thinking about joining promotional staff just to get a good deal or whatever, just think about the product and are you really going to use it? And if so, what can you do to make it better?
Yeah, I'm digging the comments over here in the side. And Tyler said, yeah, until Coast FLW. I'm like, yeah, he's got a good point there. I hope I got, more people looking at me if I'm starting to fish the FLW. Yeah, everybody's like, oh, how come you don't go Bassmasters? Like, cause the fish the Bassmaster Open is stupid expensive. It's like, and then you're going against like Bobby Lane and the actual pros, and you're going to go fish on like Lake Sinclair and stuff. Mm. Bro, I've never fished north of the Mason-Dixon line. So all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, by the way, next tournament we need to drop down a couple thousand, and we're gonna go fish for smallmouth on Lake Sinclair. Oh boy, I hope Timmy makes it.
I was actually watching Hunter Shryock and how he came up through it. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that series he posted on YouTube, the 27 opportunities. That's pretty cool how he's doing it.
Yeah, a lot of guys nowadays they're coming up through college and high school fishing, and your guys are going to think I'm crazy and you're thinking I'm going to make this stuff up. But when I was in high school, I had that idea. Like, how come we don't have high schools fish against each other and we got golf? I mean, and you got band championships. Why couldn't we have different high schools fish against each other? And man, I was a little dork. I was like a fishing geek. I wrote all this down. Like, oh, First Coast home waters could be, Bethesda Lake, and West Nassau could be the St. Mary's River. And I had all this stuff written down, and like I even gave it to the principal, and they're like, yeah, it's just not in the budget, and this is something nobody would want to do. Little did he know that it would turn into what it has today, and you got like 400 boats fishing, high school tournaments, and then college. Now you can get sign-on scholarships to go fish for Auburn or Texas A&M. Like, where was this when I was growing up? oh, I'd have been over that in a minute. I would have had like the greatest GPA you've ever seen if I knew I could go fish in college professionally. Yeah, like even University of Florida, that has a bass fishing team right now. Like, oh man, I can be a gator. Oh, that'd be freaking awesome. No, instead I followed in the family footsteps and I joined the military, which I did not regret that at one bit. But maybe the Navy needs to get on board and get a bass fishing team. We can fish against Army or something. That'd be pretty kick ass.
I want to let you guys know, it is official. I'm actually going to do the FLW BFLs starting next year.
Tell me about that. Oh, who you going to fish with?
So there's actually my buddy. His name's Tallahassee. That's his name on Instagram, Tallahassee Fishing or something like that. His real name's Frank, and so he's actually going to join as a boater, and I'm going to join as a non-boater. And I don't know if I'm going to go back and forth between Okeechobee and whatever is the closest around here in Georgia, but
be Palatka. You better start knowing the St. John's real good, my friend.
Oh yeah.
We're affiliated with the BFLs. We're affiliated with FLW. So if you're looking to get a club and know about the federation and everything, we're more welcome. I'll bring you on. You can come on with the St. John's Bass Anglers.
Okay.
So like I said, that's the tournament trail I've been going through. It's the one Peter T came up through, and you're more welcome to do that. We got all these saltwater guys over here, and I'm sure we're just ticking them off right now with all this bass talk.
I love it.
So,
all right.
But speaking of bass and speaking of summer and hot, how many guys, and you were talking about Instagram, right? Yeah. How many guys on Instagram do you see this time of year, they're holding up like 5 bass in their hands like that, and like getting that cool guy shot with, look guys, I got a kick-ass limit, today. How many guys do you see like that on Instagram this year or on Facebook right now?
I haven't seen a lot of them do that, but I have seen a few of them in the past year or so. They have this thing called like a T52 thing or whatever. You can saw into your freaking live well, and they say that it allows cold air to get into your live well and flush out all the ammonias and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if it works or not, but
yeah. But what's the reality of having someone do that? Like, to me, in the summertime, if you're going to take pictures of bass when you pull them out, take them as you catch them. Don't leave them in a hot live well for 6 hours when it's 96 degrees outside. And even if you got the recirculator on, the surface temp of the water, what'd you say, Bubba, is like 91 degrees, 92 right now?
Yep. By the time I got off today, it was over 90.
Right. So you got like 5 bass crammed in a live well with, probably 96 degree water because it's hot in there. You're not going to get in there as fast just so you can take a picture, To me, it's just, yep, CPR, catch, photo, release. That's what you need to do during the summertime. Now, if it was winter and the water temperature is like in the 60s, it's going to hold more oxygen. The bass are not going to be stressed out as much. You can, just take, you can probably do something like that. But for me, when it's like in the 90s during the summertime, I rather keep them alive. That's why, like I said, this tournament we're fishing, you're going to put them on the board, get the measurement and the weight, and then turn them right back loose, kind of like major league fishing. That's why during the middle of the summer we don't have live well tournaments, or actually weigh-in tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, the only bass that ever see my live well are, ones that I'm going to get a weight on. If I got to dig out a scale or something like that, chunk them in there for a minute. But yeah, I'm definitely not, stuffing them in there all day, or even I'm not, putting any in there for anything other than that. If I got to go dig out a scale or something like that to take a picture and get a weight, and that's it. Other than that,
right. Like we put your 11-pounder in the live well, but that was like February, and it was just like what you said. We went to go get the scales and the camera, and because that was like a freaking fish of a lifetime. So, what the heck? Rattlesnake Island is good for you. Talking about mangrove snapper there, Alex?
Yeah, mangrove snappers. That's red bass is slang for mangroves, right?
No, red bass is slang for redfish, red drum.
Red drum, yeah.
Oh, my bad. I always heard that was good for mangroves. My bad.
Where are you from?
Georgia, Kingsland, just over the border.
Oh, okay.
Dang, I don't know.
You guys want a local mangrove spot? That little.
I want one.
Oh, well, I could put you on a couple, but I'll give you the public one. Is the island that runs under the Dames Point, the little channel that cuts through there to Mill Cove. The rocks on that's pretty good for mangroves.
Goat Island?
No, the farther east than that, the one that runs under the Dames Point.
Fishing Flunky said, "Are you still rocking the Sea Ghost?" I'm torn on what yet to get. Yes, Fishing Flunky, I am still rocking the Sea Ghost, and I will, because any other kayak above that is way out of my price range. I like to save money, and by spending like $3,000 for a kayak, to me, you might as well just go ahead and get yourself a skiff for that kind of money, especially because it's going to be so heavy. You're going to have to put it on a trailer anyway. It's going to be hard to manhandle that yourself. Yeah, Goat Island, I have caught some bull reds out there. Just put a big whole mullet down there on the bottom by the rocks where when the tide's coming in seems to be the best for me. And you can get some real good bull reds over there by Goat Island.
The sandbar side of it's got a ton of crabs that run around it too. So if you're fishing it, with fishing for them with crabs, quarter crab or whatever, that whole sandbar edge of it is real good too. Right.
Fishing Flunky, I would say it really depends on what kind of body of water you're going to be fishing in, and also your body size. Not knocking Tim in any kind of way, but Tim is like on the smaller size. So the 10-footer works perfect for him. He can, that Vibe Yellowtail he's got, he can stand up and like pretty much do calisthenics and yoga in that thing.
I actually have, yeah.
Yeah, but see, me being like 6 foot and over 200 pounds, the 13-foot Sea Ghost works better for me, even though I look like a camo battleship coming through the water.
And that sucker is about as heavy as a battleship too. I will tell you that.
Right. I'd hate to see what a Hobie would be like. And Bubba is the only one out of us that has a sit-in side, but he has his own flare in there and he has his own reasons. I think at least his feet don't get burnt.
That's right. And they don't get burnt feet. And yeah, I mean, we've talked about this on here before. I bought mine with the whole idea of camping and fishing out of it. So I like the extra storage of the sit-in side there.
Right. And as Big O pointed out, the old Pescador, that's what I started out. That's what Big O is still rocking. I believe Big O was the one that that's when he first joined me. It was my very first videos. I did a review on my Pescador, and Big O got a Pescador too. I don't know if it was because of that video or he got it prior and he was just checking out some other ones. But that was my starter. I sold that to a friend of mine at work. It's still out there. It's still fishing. It's still getting salty and wet. There's still fish slime in it. I just wanted something that was wide enough where I could stand up in it and had more storage. So that's why I upgraded to the Sea Ghost. So the reason I got the Sea Ghost was I got a lot for the money that I was spending on it. And he said the 130 is about as big as I can put on my Suburban. Yeah, I wouldn't go no bigger than that. Like I said, anymore, you're going to need a trailer. And then Alex, you got a Pelican, or what you rocking, Alex?
Yeah, I've got a Pelican angler that I actually got on a ridiculously good deal from a sporting goods store, and it was just on clearance, and I happened to cross it, and I got it at like 20% of the normal price. So I was like, all right, screw it, I'm buying it, and I have no way of transporting it right now, so I have to figure that out. But the kayak that I actually want is the Field and Stream Shadowcaster. It's a 12-foot kayak. It's got a seat that kind of raises up. And when I used to sell kayaks, I decided that that's kind of the one I was leaning towards, just because of all of the accessories it has, all of the things it can do. The seat is really important for me because I'm 6'3", 200 pounds, so I need kind of a bigger boat. The one I have now is only 11 foot. And it's sturdy, but I've got to be careful in the water. So I'm hoping for something with a better seat for that back support is super important when you're kayaking, and hoping to get a little more stability when I'm out there.
Right. Slim saying he has two boats. He's got a bay boat and a creek boat. I got the kayak and a boat and a half. By what I mean by the half is I got the kayak, I got the Skeeter bass boat, and then me and my dad went half and half on a 26-foot Dusky center console with twin Timmies on the back of it. Well, twin Timmies, I mean 200 horsepower Mercuries, and that's what Dad took out to get the snapper and left me at work, sadly.
People are probably confused on what you mean by Timmy. Go ahead and just, let them know what that means.
All right, backstory on Timmy. We call the outboard on my bass boat Timmy because when we took a trip to the Santa Fe River, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, to the kayaks, to Jenny Springs, and we went Swanee bass fishing in the Santa Fe River. And every time we went out, Timmy would start getting a little tired, and he'd be like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to fish. Or he would ask if we were there yet and asking how much further. Well, due to my Mercury always having problems, like either stalling out or breaking, we named it Timmy because he would be like, I don't want to go no further. I'm ready to fish now. And the Mercury would stop. But that's no longer an issue. Thank God. I got that fixed.
Yeah, and Timmy will keep up now.
Oh, Slim said he doesn't have two boats. He says those are the. He's saying that's the best way to go. Those are the best two to get. Yeah, especially for coastal Florida. That definitely a bay boat and a creek boat would be the way to go. Creek boat, we got that covered. Bubba's got us covered with a creek boat.
Yep, we got the old ass tracker.
Yeah, with a push pole.
That's right. Hey, I upgraded my push pole thanks to Big O. Big O had his video on. He caught a push pole at Ollie's, which is like a kind of like a Big Lots type store, like an Overstock type store. And he went and got a like a dip net pole for a pool. And I was like, dang, that's a good idea. So I went and snagged one on Amazon because I went to Ollie's and they didn't have any. So I snagged one off of Amazon. So thanks, Big O. That was a good idea, dude. That thing is awesome. It's light. It's sturdy. That thing works.
So what's this about St. John's County?
I'm sorry, not Big O. I said Big O. That's get out of the house, go fish. My bad.
Sorry, Big O. We try to give you some credit and get out of the house. I was about to be like, what, man? That was me. So what's this about a boat tax in St. John's County boat ramps?
Oh man, they are. So St. John's County, it's not in yet, but they have proposed like it's basically a tax, but it's like a ramp fee, like a daily ramp fee for all 12 boat ramps in St. John's County. But the one they proposed is like $5, like a daily ramp usage, which is ridiculous. That's why I called it a tax, because that's really all it is. It's ridiculous because that's what all of our boat registration fee goes for, is all that kind of maintenance. License. Yes, and your fishing license. That goes to all that kind of maintenance and stuff. But the worry with that is, you've already got poorly maintained ramps. Anyway, I mean, I can't think of a really good one in St. John's County. But if that happens there, how long until we start seeing it in Duval and everywhere else too?
Oh, yeah. They're going to jump on board and be like, that's a great idea. But it's funny you bring this up because I was listening to some guys that fish out in California, and every body of water has that. And you know what their ramp fee is?
What's that?
$50.
Oh, no. For
Lord.
Hey, how long is it good for?
That day.
God, no.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't surprise me with California, though.
No, yeah, they're real strict. It's kind of, I guess it helps deter people, from using the water because they want to keep everything pristine and everything. And I don't even think a two-stroke outboard is even allowed in that state.
Well, you think about how much fishermen put into the economy anyway, on top of all of our stuff that goes back into regulation and conservation and everything with everywhere that we get hit by the state normally, and I have no problem with it. But think about like today, I went fishing for 4 hours and spent $40, on gas, food, everything like that. That's like how much you put into the local economy and that kind of thing. But then you want to take more out of it? Come on, guys.
Right. And for those that are joining us that didn't know, on the Atlantic coast, snapper season open. I don't know if any of y'all have already went out and tried to get you some snapper, but the season opened up Friday, and it went Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's closed now tonight, and then red snapper will open back up next Friday, and it'll go Friday, Saturday, Sunday again, and that'll be it. So for the United States government, it's so nice to let us fish for snapper for 6 days this year. And that is it. You got 6 days to catch the elusive, endangered red snapper that took Dad all of 5 minutes to get.
Yeah, they are plentiful. You can expect to fill that limit quick because it's one per person per day. And there's not a size limit on it, right?
I believe there is. I believe, correct me out there if I'm wrong, but I think it's 16 inches and bigger.
Did my internet just go out again, or we just?
No. I was typing, and then Bubba got quiet, and so we had that awkward silence. You know, like when you go on the first date and you look at her.
Hopefully that didn't happen.
Yeah, I think my mic cut out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Slim says there's no size. So.
Yeah, and the reason behind there being no size limit is because they don't want you pulling up small ones, throwing them back, and then them dying anyway.
Right, without venting them or
correct.
fizzing them or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, so that's why there's no size limit on them.
All right. What about surf fishing, though? There ain't no season on that, thank goodness. So this is where we're going to turn it over to Alex.
I was about to say, that's why I'm here.
He's the surf fishing king right now.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of surf fishing. If you guys want to check out my channel, I just put out 2 videos. My brother, Matthew from Memphis, he came down and he wanted to catch a shark. So I took him out and hooked him up into a 3.5-foot sharp nose. Then we went out the next day. My most recent video, I went out and caught a 45-inch black nose shark, which was a new species for me as well, out at Mickler's Beach. And I've got 2 more videos to put out with surf fishing, but I have caught everything this year. The surf fishing has been crazy. I've not had surf fishing. Like the last time I went surf fishing was probably I mean, I went last year, but really going surf fishing, I probably went, really heavy about 4 years ago. But this year, I mean, I've caught sand trout, spotted sea trout, bonnet head, spots, croakers, whiting, redfish, ladyfish, stingray, jack crevalle. I was briefly hooked up into what I believe was a tarpon at Volano. It ripped drag. It took a ton of line and then cut me off on the rocks out there. So I in my mind, I want to say that was a tarpon, but I have no confirmation on that, unfortunately. But yeah, surf fishing has been really good. Typically what I do is I'll take out some shrimp and on a 2-tree rig. And what that is that's the leader with the weight at the bottom and then 2 limbs coming out of it with usually on opposite sides with hooks. And I'll take a shrimp, I'll peel it, rip it in half, throw it on a 1/0 or 2/0 hook on the tree limbs, throw it out, catch a fish, cut that up, throw it on my bigger rods. And that's how I get those predatory fish. But yeah, shrimp has been working very, very good for me this time of year. I've caught 28-inch red on half a piece of shrimp on a 1/0 hook. So you can't really argue with that.
No. You and Timmy would get along great saltwater fishing because both of y'all use those what I call jewelry rigs. You buy at Walmart and it's got the beads and all the shiny clips and stuff hanging off of it.
Next question too. I was like, Alex, do you use those things at Walmart? Because that's the easiest way to do it.
Well, I mean, what I do is I do make my own if I'm doing mono, but if I'm going for something that has teeth, which most saltwater fish do, is I actually buy them bulk, either from Academy or from Amazon because I go through them so quickly. And I get bit off and rubbed off so much, with sharks and other stuff, just, chasing it. Yeah, I mean, that's what I use. Some people, kind of give me grief for it because I'm using 2 hooks instead of just 1, but, to each their own, I suppose.
I use 2 hooks too. This clearly shows both of you have not watched my how to do it yourself video that has like 60,000 views.
No, I definitely have. Okay, that actually, you doing that gave me the idea for mine, and mine definitely doesn't have that many views. But I was like, let me give them, what I do, and it was all over the place. I didn't know what I was doing with that, but like I knew what I was doing making it wise, but I've never made one of those tutorial videos before, so it's kind of all over the place, but
yeah, I was shocked. I couldn't believe I'm like, really, there's nothing like this on YouTube to show how to make saltwater rigs out of your main leader. I mean, with 2 hooks and Carolina rigs and everything. But man, that's my most watched video, and people were like, "Oh, thank you so much. You've saved me so much money." I'm getting all these comments saying that, except for Timmy, who is just stuck in his ways.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, if I'm going intercoastal, I'll run mono. I usually do 50 or 80 pound for the leader material, to make the tree limb or to make the tree, and then the limbs off it is also, either 50 or 80. But if I'm going surf fishing, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been cut off with sharks biting on the tree limb. So that's why I usually run wire, and it's easier just to buy those, pre-made.
Yeah. The way I do it is I have braid as my main line, and then I'll tie in 20-pound fluorocarbon leader, and I'll probably put on about 8 feet of that, and that's what I'll make my rigs out of. I'll make my dropper loops and have 2 hooks come off of it with the weight on the bottom that I can slip on and off. And I'll have those out there with shrimp to catch my, like my whiting and drum and things like that. And then like what you said, once I catch a whiting or, or a jack or val or something, then I got a different rig that has wire leader on it and more of like a Carolina rig that slides for my shark or bigger fish with a live bait on there. And I have a 8,000 series pin that I use for that.
I actually just got a Daiwa BG 8000 that my girl got me, and so I used that for the first time today. That was pretty exciting, but I've only got 40-pound line on that, and a lot of people go really heavy with line in saltwater, especially with braid. On my one, I have an Akuma Centaura. It's a 7,000 size reel, and it's a 10-foot rod, but I have 65-pound braid on that, but the problem I find with braid is when you're casting, unless you have one of those little gloves and it covers your pointer finger and it goes down and wraps around your wrist, I actually find that I cut my hand on that a lot. So I use mono sometimes, or most of the time, because it has the stretch and the capability, and I don't have to worry about it cutting in as much, which I know is more of a personal issue, not the braid. So that's just my own personal preference. I prefer mono over braid because of that reason.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, that's kind of weird. I've never heard it cutting, but that's cool. I got, I think, 50 on mine, and the reason I use braid is because, like I said, it's on bigger game like tarpon or shark. Unless you have a really long leader material, their tails will just be hitting that mono or fluoro or whatever you got, and especially with sharks, they'll just wear it down like that, and then you won't even break off at the hook. You'll break off where their tail's at, which braid will fight that a little bit better.
Well, I've actually I've been bit off since I've been going really hardcore with all my surf fishing and whatnot. I've been bit off, or rubbed off, or whatever you want to call it, broke off at least 6 times, which is just a huge kick because you lose the hooks, you lose the leader, you lose the weight, you lose everything. It's a pretty big setback. I don't like it, but what I've started doing is I've started tying an 80-pound leader so I've got my steel, tree limb rig. I tie that to 80-pound leader, and then I tie that to my main line, and I haven't had any problems since.
Sounds like a good thing to me. Timmy, man, you ready to do some saltwater fishing or what?
Absolutely. You guys are talking Spanish to me right now. I need to get out there and do some saltwater fishing. Honestly, the last time I actually went was with you, Joe, when we caught the sea trout. We weren't even after sea trout that time. So
no, that was back in the winter. Or was that January or something like that? It was like prime sheephead. They were just being stubborn and didn't want to come in. They were staying like pretty much out there in the jetties where we really don't want to take a kayak out there.
No.
But guys, usually we do this for an hour. We're already way over that, so we're going ahead and we'll open up to Q&A. If you have any questions for myself, Bubba, Alex, or Tim, just go ahead and light up the chat, and we'll just talk about whatever. Any kind of questions you got: kayaks, fishing, hooks, saltwater rigs, whatever. If you got any questions for Alex specifically while we got him on here as a guest, I'm sure he'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
Of course.
Last time you were talking about, you say you just got a new reel. The last video you put up, I made a comment on there. I'm like, wow, it seems like every time I see a surf fishing video, there's more and more rods that need to be in the video. And he's like, don't tell my girl. And she's the one. That's a keeper if she's buying you rods.
Yeah, I actually got her a Penn Passion. It's a combo that you can get. I got her the 4,000 size reel so we can use it for intercoastal bass. Kind of, it's a little big, but it'll work. And as well as surf fishing for whiting and smaller stuff as well. But yeah, I got her a combo. She got me a reel, so can't argue with that.
She watching this tonight, like in the other room or something?
Yeah, I think she is. She's laying over there, so she might be watching it. She might not be. I don't know.
Well, give her a little shout out on here. She'll think that's sweet. They get you some bonus points.
Oh yeah, definitely. Shout out to my girlfriend Kimber for getting me that nice BG 8000. I've been wanting that reel for so long. I didn't know I was getting it, and I'm super stoked for it. So I'm hoping to get some big old sharks for it. So
he's fishing for another one with that comment.
Exactly.
Bubba did the same thing for with his wife for Christmas. She got him a bait ball and like I think a whopper plopper and some other stuff, and he had to hear that 5 times. look what my wife got me. I'm catching these bass on what my wife got me. My wife's so awesome.
And she don't even watch my videos or nothing.
I know that's a good husband. And then Timmy takes his out, and she's like, I don't want to touch it.
She actually just kept coming in and out, making sure that I was still on the computer with you guys.
My nickname for Timmy is Howdy, because every time I see him with his wife, I'm like, how'd he get her?
That's
my little pet name for Tim once in a while.
That's the first time I've heard it, though.
Well, I told you that before. I told you that when we ate dinner at Mulligan's. But no, you need it for real though, Tim. Like, if I still had mine, I'd do more videos with her. But you need to get her out. You need to get your wife out there fishing again.
Honestly, yeah, we were just talking about that. I was like, hey, why don't you come fishing out with me again? She's like, well, if you can get me a new fishing outfit, I will.
Also, he buys this girl a pole. You got to buy a whole outfit.
See?
Ask her. I just want to know, what does a fishing outfit look like?
I was gonna ask that.
Let's go ahead and find out.
Oh crap! You guys are seeing it here live
with two guys with just always wearing some kind of jersey over here. I mean, you want to ask me what a fishing outfit looked like every time I get on the boat with these two jokers.
Mine's just a dry fit shirt. He's got the jersey. He's trying to look like a Deadpool. All right, hey, let him talk. Let him talk.
Her question. Ask the question, Joe.
Yeah, what exactly does a fishing outfit look like, or what does it entail? Like, what would this fishing outfit be
for you?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
So it has to be colorful, and bright and happy looking.
Well, you get it. So we're not gonna have any fish to catch because we're scaring them off.
We're talking about like sky blue or like a pinkish blue or green or.
Yes. Have you seen the fishing section at Dick's? It's great. It's all rainbow colors.
I was waiting for Alex to chime in on that one.
So I actually used to work at Dick's Sporting Goods, which is what I was talking about when I said I used to sell kayaks. And all that stuff most of the stuff there is designed to catch fishermen, not fish. And all that stuff, that's all that is expensive clothes for people to buy their significant others, so they'll go fishing with them.
There it is, right there. It's proof right there.
If it's not pink, I'm not going fishing.
See, there it is.
Hey, they got the Penn Passion at Dick's, dude. That's what I just got my girl. It's pink. The rod, the reel, everything.
You got it, absolutely. Thanks, honey.
Y'all could have matching jerseys. You could have matching jerseys. You could get yourself a pink one.
By the way, I can't call it Deadpool. Whoever said, I heard him say Deadpool. I was trying to get Anna in here. I can't call it that because I promised the company that I wouldn't say that, even though that was kind of the goal.
Yeah. Now that you guys have seen Timmy's wife, now you know why I say he's Howdy.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Nothing but love for you, Timmy, man. We love you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be real sad when you have to leave to go for school over in Pensacola. But yeah, you're gonna have to learn to like saltwater over there, or your videos are just not gonna show up.
I'm gonna try and get in contact with 30 Miles Out because this is getting ridiculous.
PFG Academy all day, says Slim. Slim has been with us the whole time, man. So big shout out for Slim One Done. He has been here since minute one.
He's sticking it out.
He is, man. Now that's a freaking viewer right there.
Mm-hmm.
So like when we all retire, are we gonna like buy an actual bait shop and we can do this from inside of one for real?
We need to do one when we're all in the same room.
Oh, now I feel better. Slim says he's just bored. Wow, thanks.
At least he's honest.
Well, he was bored, but now he's not because he's watching us. I think that's what he means. We'll go with that.
That's right. That's right. He says, I'm all, what? If talk freshwater, I'm out. Yeah, we're done with freshwater, Slim. We're on to hot pink combos.
Tyler, that's why we said when we retire, so we could just lose money in that.
Right. It'll be the one bait shop in town that's like always closed because we'll always be out fishing, except for on live chat nights.
Right.
But Alex, definitely glad to have you with us. I think we're going to wrap it up. And glad to definitely be able to get Timmy back on here. And once again, sorry about us not being able to do this last month because, duties to the country and all. I had to go answer the call for 2 weeks, which also I'm missing out on snapper season because of the military. See, when they talk about sacrifices, they mean fishing as well. Yep. And so definitely thank you all for joining us and making this a great Bait Shop Talk Live. From me, Joe at Dinsmore Outdoors, Timmy, Alex, and Bubba, we definitely thank you all for watching. Oh, we got a last-minute question from Jenny. It says, what is the best fish to eat, saltwater and freshwater? Okay. See, that's how you keep us on just a little bit longer. You come in there with that last-minute question. Ugh. All right.
That's better. Dang it.
Me and Timmy agree on that. My favorite saltwater fish to eat would be mahi / dolphin / dorado, whatever you want to call them. That's my favorite saltwater fish to eat. My favorite freshwater fish to eat would be between rainbow trout or speckled perch, or what a lot of northern people call them black crappie. Is down here in Florida we call them speckled perch. And the bluegill back in the tank back here are getting nervous and running around because we're talking about eating fish.
Yeah, my favorite saltwater is probably I really like shark, honestly. I love a good shark. Grill it up in some teriyaki. That's fantastic. Any kind of shark, and then freshwater is probably black crappie is really good. I really like that.
Bubba?
Oh, I'm trying to think of a saltwater one, man. They're all good.
Well, I know you like those yellowmouth trout.
I do like yellowmouth trout. That is, you go yellowmouth fishing. You go fishing for lunch. Trout in general, I guess, might be mine as far as what I'm catching. Yeah, it's also good for saltwater. Freshwater, I'm going to be the odd man out over here. Both these two guys hate hearing me talk about catching this fish, but I just love to eat it. Love eating gar. I love eating gar. Gar tastes like gator if you've never had it. Cube it, fry it. It's awesome. It's fun to catch because they're big.
Never heard that.
Oh, it's awesome. I'd take it with me one day, Alex.
Let's do it, man.
Dog days.
It's an adventure for sure. It's like going fishing with a turtle, man.
Yeah. Maybe get some live action. Yep, I'll get you back in the swamp in dog days of summer if the bass ain't biting. I guarantee you the gar will.
Yeah, Slim saying pomps and pompano. Yeah, I highly agree about pompano. That's like a freaking delicacy.
Pretty good. Oh yeah,
that is like a delicacy. Was it Captain Larry Finch? If you guys are on Facebook, and he's like a local surf fishing legend, Captain Larry Finch. He's a commercial pompano fisherman, and he goes up and down Florida chasing pompano. Like he literally follows the schools of pompano up and down the coast of Florida, catching them, selling them. He always gives a report. Really nice guy. Tim, on to you. I know you're from the great north of Kentucky, so I'm sure you might have a different taste.
I don't really eat freshwater. Actually, I don't at all, really.
Wow. Sorry, Jenny. Tim is no help. I know Tim had sea trout one day because he had to fight to get it in the house.
So, I mean, that's the saltwater. I mean, saltwater, I'll eat anything. There's a restaurant right up the road that I've been trying different fish, and then
I don't recommend you need a
fresh or saltwater fish, and I'll actually do it myself. But flounder's good. I tried grouper. It's different, but it's okay. Mahi is definitely my favorite though.
See, restaurant fish tastes way different. Than fish that you catch in the wild. Because a lot of that restaurant fish is farmed, and it's not the same as catching the same. Plus, they can say whatever they want. They can all you're seeing is a fillet on your plate. You know, a lot of times you say okay, I went to the grocery store one time and they have those prepackaged fillets. Well, I was trying to eat healthier and I was eating more fish than what I was catching at the time, and it said flounder on the bag. I'm like, oh, let me check this flounder out. And then, of course, most of us that fish know what a flounder fillet looks like. If you fillet it as one big fillet, it's going to be really tall and really wide. Or if not, and you do like what I do, and you fillet it in quarters by cutting it down the middle and quartering it out, then it's going to be more of a skinnier fillet. This was like Alaskan pollock cod all day. So, yeah, everybody's like, oh, yeah, flounder doesn't taste that good. I'm like, what flounder are you eating? And they say from the store.
Yeah, that grocery store tilapia flounder.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like in a restaurant is totally different than eating it. Cobia would be out there too, up there for me. I just saltwater fish are like my grocery store.
Yeah.
I really don't eat freshwater, but saltwater, I'm not keeping any prisoners. They're going on ice if they're legal size. That's where I get my groceries is saltwater. Stuffed flounder. Jenny said flounder is always a favorite for sure. Stuffed flounder is like a delicacy. I need to learn how to cook stuffed flounder. That would be a great catch and cook video. My first time making stuffed flounder. I don't know how well it's going to turn out, so that you might not want to copy me.
Kind of an unpopular opinion. That Jack Crevalle we caught, my girlfriend actually caught it. We decided to eat it, and I had always heard it was a trash fish, but I actually really liked it. I thought it was delicious. So,
Marty's Offinger would agree with you on that because he did it too. He had the same concept. He's like, people always say it's a trash fish, but he's like, you know what? I'm going to find out for myself. But what he did is he bled it as soon as he got it. As soon as he got it, he got the bloodline out, and then he said it was real nice meat. It kind of was like tuna.
That's exactly what I said in my video. It's very firm meat. I did not bleed it. I did not do that. That was a mistake. Learn for the future. But yeah, I thought it was a great fish. So I'm definitely, I want to catch more. I thought they were delicious.
I got one in the freezer, but I don't recommend eating it. I'm saving that for a shark cook. It's been in there for about a couple months now. Yeah. Elias V. He freaking catch and cooks everything like sand fleas, lizard fish, any kind of thing you can think of.
I've seen all kinds of stuff that he's done.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
He tried bonito, which I didn't know there was a difference, but I think they call them a false albacore up north, and we don't have them down here. But yeah, bonita he said was no good. He said there's no way around trying to make that taste good. He said that's definitely a trash fish, which is a shame because they look like a tuna. They're more plentiful than tuna. They're all over the place here. But I guess the only thing they're good for is shark bait. All right, I'm going to try this one more time. Sorry about the pop-up questions, but I wasn't going to leave you guys hanging. Thank you definitely for joining us. Check out our channels. You got 904 Fishing with Alex, Bubba Outdoors with Bubba, Tim Kidwell Outdoors with Timmy, and then you got myself, of course, hosting this, which, if you just came across this, please subscribe and leave it a thumbs up. Dinsmore Outdoors. And we do this every second Sunday of every month. The only reason we didn't do it last Sunday is because, obviously we had people issues and we were all over the place. But normally it's every second Sunday of every month at 7 p.m. So hopefully we can see you guys next month. There will be some more action. Be looking for our videos. Like I said, I'm putting up a surf fishing video real soon. And we'll see you there for the next one. Remember, I'm Joe with Dinsmore Outdoors, and we do more in Dinsmore. We'll see you next time, guys. See you later.
You guys.
See you.
Bye.